Within Pulsion, we've always been in a kind of recruitment market where it's quite difficult to get staff. Because we're a highly technical company, then it's difficult to find highly technical people. The way that we've approached that really over our lifetime in Pulsion is that we have tried to kind of develop our own staff where we can. Obviously, having said we're in a competitive market, we have very, very, very large companies. They just want to go out and they want to recruit somebody and they want to recruit them tomorrow, basically. We take a slightly longer term view of actually almost like our academy within Pulsion, if we were to compare ourselves to a football club, where we're actually getting people into the company and then bringing their skills up via training. So we are training our people up as much as we can and getting them lots of experience. Because of the type of company we are, we run through a lot of projects, so people naturally get exposed to a lot of work. So my advice in terms of recruiting staff would be to, if you're in a competitive market, is to try and get in staff and try and train them yourself. It's sometimes better than just going and always recruiting experienced people, but sometimes you have to do that as well. Obviously, it really just depends on your needs and depends on the market that you are in. Something else I'll also say about recruiting people is that I tend to call it, in a rather strange way, superhero teams, where I used to work in a very large corporate, and they had a very cookie cutter view of recruiting people where everybody had to have specific attributes. You know, you could almost put everybody in the same room and they'd all realistically be kind of very similar type characters. At Pulsion, we've always looked to have a diversity of different people. Obviously, within things like gender, race, etc. We've always done that, but besides that, it's also different personalities. Some people have great life experience. Some people have done some really strange things, like they've gone off and played in bands or toured the world or whatever. And we've always looked to have a diversity of viewpoints within the company because people have different experiences. So rather than just taking cookie cutter type employees, we've always tried to encourage having people with slightly different experiences because it kind of works within the projects that we do. In terms of advice on retaining people, we try to really value people. One of our core values when we set the company up was to treat people as we'd want to be treated ourselves. Yet again, I think I said I'd worked for a large corporate, and the large corporate tended to, because there was a large company, you had lots of hierarchies of middle management. Things were generally hidden from people who were actually doing the job or not really communicated. So we try and communicate where we can with members of staff, and we try and keep them informed. It feels more like a team then. It feels more like everybody trusts each other. So we value people in that sense of being really honest, treating people like adults as well within the company. And I'd say that's certainly a piece of advice I'd give any founders is to really trust your people, trust them to do their job, but also value them and treat them as adults. And you might have strong opinions, you will, if you're a founder of a company, if you're a senior manager of a company, but it's certainly listen more than you talk.